The St. Louis Cardinals had a World Series winner to the bullpen, plus the latest trade rumors surrounding Nolan Arenado, Brendan Donovan, and JoJo Romero. This is Locked on Cardinals.
You are Locked on Cardinals, your daily St. Louis Cardinals podcast, part of the Locked on Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey there, Cardinals fans. I'm JD Hafron, a former national radio sports anchor, born and raised in St. Louis and a lifetime Cardinals fan, and welcome to another episode of Locked on Cardinals, part of the Locked on Podcast Network, now the #1 sports podcast network. Thank you to our everydayers for being here for this journey. For those of you who are new, welcome in. I hope you do enjoy the content that we have for you for today. This is a show that serves Cardinal Nation, gives you all the info about the birds on the bat. Today's episode being brought to you by FanDuel. The wild card round is here, and FanDuel is officially in playoff mode. So visit FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Grab your profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. So on today's show, we've got arbitration cases to talk about that were avoided. Actually, it was good news. We're going to talk about the trade rumors involving the Cardinals, trio of guys that are being talked about a lot so far this offseason. But we're going to begin with the addition over the weekend. And the Cardinals added another name to their stable of relievers, who also happens to be a St. Louis native, which is cool, in 34-year-old Ryan Stanek, who have reportedly agreed on a one-year deal, $3.5 million, which includes a $6 million club option for 2027. Now, Stanek was born in St. Louis, which is great. Actually grew up in Kansas and went to college at Arkansas. I actually found a picture of him. All right, check this out for my YouTube people. There he is. Looks a lot different. But in this photo, it's of him playing with Arkansas against Missouri State. How about that? Solid 9-year major league career, which includes winning the World Series with the Houston Astros back in 2022. I'm not really sure if they still use the term journeyman anymore when describing players who have been on a lot of teams, but if they do, Stanek certainly has done that. He would be what you call a journeyman reliever. Let me get you another picture of him. There he is. There he goes. This is from last year with the Mets. Drafted by Seattle in the 3rd round out of high school in 2010, decided to go to college instead, compiled a 22-8 record and a 2.55 ERA in 3 seasons before getting selected by, guess who? One of Chaim Bloom's old teams. The Tampa Bay Rays took Stanek with a compensatory pick at number 29 overall in the 2013 draft, right after the Cardinals selected left-hander Rob Kaminsky at number 28, and just a couple of picks ahead of the Yankees, who at number 32 took an outfielder from Fresno State. You might have heard of him, Aaron Judge. Yeah, that's a bad one. And yes, Bloom was with the Rays back then when the selection was made, so he was around when they chose Stanek. In his career, he has pitched for the Rays, the Marlins, the Astros, Mariners, and Mets. Now the Cardinals will be added to that list. The best year of his career was that 2022 season with the Astros when he appeared in 59 games at a 1.15 ERA, which is phenomenal. ERA plus of 3.33, insane numbers that particular season, but since then has regressed, has gone 14-10, 4.78 ERA, well below average ERA plus of 84. More recently, last year and a half with the Mets, went from Seattle to New York, was especially rough in a Mets uniform, going 5-6 with a 5.47 ERA plus of just 74. Now, there is one thing that he does do well that should interest fans and is exciting. And that's the fact that this dude throws hard. All right. Fans dig the smoke, don't they? Chicks used to dig the long ball. Now fans dig the smoke. They want to see triple digits. They want to see hard throwers. Stanek is certainly one of those. He averaged 98.5 miles per hour on his fastball last year, which is in the 96th percentile of all major league pitchers. The dude throws hard. All right. He can spit the pill. Also throws a slider, got a splitter, got a sweeper. And until last year, the strikeout percentage was pretty darn good, 27.8. Opponents batted just .213 against him. But last year in New York, the strikeout percentage, it dropped tremendously, 22.7. Average against bumped up to 253 batting average, which was the third highest against him in his career. The only other 2 seasons where batters had more success against him were in his rookie year, which, yeah, sometimes people struggle when they come up to the big leagues. And then the COVID year of 2020 when nobody knew what the hell was going on, right? Like, people are sick, people are dying. We don't know what's going on. There's no fans in the stands. We got cutouts of people. Like, weird time, right? The fastball last year got tagged for a 268 average against. The splitter at a whopping 333. The sweeper was at 250. The slider was awesome. The slider was great. 184 average against there. 45.1% whiff percentage. So hopefully Dusty Blake or Dusty Balake and the crew can get it back on track, because the arm clearly still has some heat in it, still got some life in it, and could provide some much needed swing and miss in the bullpen, because we know the Cardinals have struggled with that in recent years. They just haven't had those guys. And you can call it low-hanging fruit if you want. That's fine, because it is. This is not a superstar. It's another guy in the mold of Andrew Kittredge and Phil Maton, a veteran who's had success in the past, but is looking to rebound from some not so good numbers and turn that into a better deal for himself moving on, like in 2027. As I mentioned, it's a 1-year contract, $3.5 million. So it's not super cheap, but it's not an expensive one, right? And then you got that option for the next year, which if he has a good year this year, you flip him at the trade deadline, unless you're in contention, and you get stuff for him from there. So, it's one of those moves that makes sense. It's more depth. It's more major league experience. It's a guy that throws triple digits that you just don't have a lot of those dudes in your arsenal in the minors or at the major league level as far as relievers go right now. So I like that he throws hard. I like that he is not follically challenged and has a big old mess of long hair to work with probably a hell of a headbanger, whipping that stuff around. I like that he's not afraid to show emotion. A lot of these photos, like the one I showed you on YouTube there, like this one, he is, screaming like a madman on the mound, I'm assuming in celebration after something good has happened. I hope that's not after like a home run or something, where he's just like, not again. I like that kind of energy and passion. There are guys that go about their work quietly, very businesslike, but I like the guys that show emotion and are excited to be out there playing baseball. I also like that when he's out of uniform, like in this particular picture, I like that he looks like a dude that you could go camping with. That would crush a case of tall, cool Budweisers with you. Eat a pack of hot dogs. Raw or cooked, doesn't care. And then listen to John the U-Man Hewlett on KC95 on full blast with you until 3 o'clock in the morning, hanging out in the back of a truck, just going wild, having a blasty. Look at this guy. This guy has a good time. He knows how to. This dude tailgates. This guy will stand in the front row at a Leonard Skinner show with you and know every lyric. And in no way is this a bad thing. I'm not making fun of him. This is awesome. We need colorful players in this organization. Guys with some flair. Like, I like that kind of stuff. I like those dudes. Now, this team's going to have to make a 40-man roster move to add him. I'm looking at you, Chris Roycroft, as the odd man out. Multiple shots with the Cardinals at the big league level, just hasn't worked out. Perhaps he clears waivers and goes back to Memphis or Double-A or whatever they want to do with Chris Roycroft, but he wouldn't be on the 40-man anymore. But he's the guy I'm choosing unless there's a trade coming down the pipeline that would open up a spot or two, perhaps. We're going to talk rumors and those dang Cubbies. Big signing. We'll talk about it next on Locked On Cardinals. The wild card round is here, and FanDuel is officially in playoff mode. Every game day during the NFL playoffs, FanDuel is giving customers even more ways to get in on the action because right now, every NFL playoff game day, FanDuel users get what we call a profit boost pack waiting for them inside the app. So each game day, what you do is you're going to see this pack loaded with multiple profit boosts, okay? And you can apply this to the bets you like the most. You got Steelers at home tonight against Houston, Monday night for those of you who, depending on when you're watching. I can't imagine there's going to be a ton of points in this one. Both of these teams very much defensive-minded, so keep that in mind. But what you want to do is open up this profit boost pack and see what boost you want to apply. They let you lean into your game day instincts, if you will, whether you're backing momentum, whether you're backing defense like this one should be, quarterback play, coaching, it's all up to you. The boost gives you more juice on the bets you already like. Instead of forcing you to bet something new, you make your picks, then apply your profit boost to go after even bigger payouts while the playoffs continue to roll. So visit FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL, and grab your profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. Thanks for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen of the day. Thank you for making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network. Now you already live your team every day. Now take it up a level. Go ad-free. Join the Everydayer Club today and get Locked On Cardinals with no interruptions. You get the members-only Discord access and more. All for just $5 a month. That's $50 a year. If you want to do the annual version, go to lockedonstlcardinals.supercast.com or check the link in the show notes to learn more. All right, so here we are closing in. Today is the 12th of January. And here we are closing in on the middle of January, and there are a ton of big-name free agents that are still out there, right? Kyle Tucker, Bo Bichette, Cody Bellinger, A. Eugenio, and Ranger Suarez, no relation. Framber Valdez. They're all still out there, mulling over offers and money and years, and you know, it's been kind of boring recently. The rest of the league just can't move on until at least a couple of these knuckleheads choose a team, which means that moves for guys in the Cardinals, secondary players like Brendan Donovan, Nolan Arenado, JoJo Romero, everything's been on pause. Now, a name that is not on that list anymore that got crossed off this weekend is Alex Bregman, who unfortunately has signed a deal with the Chicago Cubs. Somehow, some way, the Boston Red Sox have allowed him to get away. Because they signed him, they had to trade Rafael Devers because he got all upset, didn't want to play first base. And now Bregman's gone. Like, what a mess. What a mess that is. And Bregman, I mean, it's not like he left for peanuts. 5 years, $175 million. And as annoying as that was, it also happened to go down like when the Chicago Bears were starting their comeback against my Green Bay Packers. For those of you who don't know, I am a huge Packers fan. I am an owner of the Green Bay Packers, and they completely choked on Saturday night. So if you're a Chicago sports fan, what a night that was. Oh my gosh. You get Bregman and you get this comeback to beat the Green Bay Packers in the playoffs. Unreal. And with that signing, though, perhaps the market it'll give it a stiff kick in the pants and start moving forward a little bit more. I hope that's the case because we kind of want to know where we are, right? As Cardinals fans, we want to know who's going to be on this team. And before that signing, John Denton, who covers the Cardinals for MLB.com, recently used the P word in his article. Yes, that same P word, the one that was used so much by John Mozeliak that we have it on a loop file here at Locked On Cardinals. Prepare yourself.
Ask from our fan base right now is a little bit of patience, or a little bit of patience. Plus is a little patience. So just be patient. Being patient about this and too patient. So really just ask for people's patience in all of this.
Yeah. PTSD, right? I know. But sadly, that's what's going on right now. We are stuck waiting and waiting. I was really getting upset with Alex Bregman and was ready to unleash on him for today's show, but he signed. He still made us mad because he had to sign with the Chicago Cubs out of all teams. But let's start with the trio of guys that we've been talking a lot about. Let's start with Nolan Arenado, who John Denton talked about. He put out an article with some updates on what's going on, and I guess we don't need this on there anymore. Sorry about that. But let's talk with Arenado. Denton says the market for him could be described as tepid at best, per a source close to negotiations, that he simply doesn't have teams clamoring for him after he has struggled at the plate for much of the past 3 seasons. Denton points out the same stuff that, that I've been saying here, that you've been saying in the comments section and on X, that beyond the offensive struggles, there's also the no trade clause in his contract, and that he is owed $36 million after the Rockies' $5 million gets taken out. Teams in need of a third baseman are going to wait on. First, it was going to be Alex Bregman, who is now in Chicago, and then Eugenio Suarez is the next big domino that needs to fall, and then we'll see what shakes out after that. Either way, if and when he is moved, the Cardinals aren't likely to get much in return. Low-level prospects at best, and are probably going to have to eat a lot of money to move him. Again, I don't think the Cardinals or their fan base, I sure as hell no, I never thought that we would be in this situation with Nolan Arenado, that things would get so bad, that things would have deteriorated so much with his bat, that this is where we are, where we're like begging other teams to take him and use him. And I'll still defend that. I think there is still something left in Nolan Arenado. Like, I don't think he's like some scrub, but the numbers are what they are. And he was hurt last year, and he ain't getting younger. So you can understand why other teams aren't lining up waiting to get their hands on him. Brendan Donovan, much better market, clearly, for a lot of different reasons, but the Cardinals aren't going to just give him away to a team that wants him. They want things in return. He doesn't make much money in the baseball world scheme of things. He's got 2 controllable years left, can play almost anywhere you want. On top of that, he's a great freaking dude. We've heard that the asking price could be 2 top 10 prospects. And personally, I'm all for Chaim Bloom sticking to his guns to get that. Because if they don't, then Donnie comes back and we try again at the trade deadline if things aren't going well here in St. Louis. And with the news that the Diamondbacks aren't going to be trading Ketel Marte, that should help boost Donnie's worth a little bit, because that eliminates a huge bat. Bo Bichette still remains out there. It's starting to seem like things are going to get figured out soon with Bichette and where he's going. We've heard the rumors that the Cubs would listen on Nico Horner. So maybe teams are interested in getting their hands on Nico Horner. I would if I was them. But there's still some names out there to sift through. So Donovan isn't like the number one guy yet, but he's up there. He's scooched up another slot now that Ketel Marte is not going to be moved from Arizona. Our buddy Jeff Jones at the Business News Democrat commented on a pic of Donnie, who was out with the Royals' Vinny Pasquantino at the Pasquatch himself at a Nashville Predators game. And here's what he had to say about it. The Cardinals and Royals have not historically done a lot of business, but they have been flirting for a couple years now. KC called on Nolan Arenado last winter, for instance. Wouldn't be shocked if something came together eventually. So there's that from Jeff Jones. I still believe that the Mariners are still the best fit. I think they're going to fold and come get Donovan if they don't talk to Eugenio Suarez first, because they could easily just realign with him and bring him back and be like, look, dude hit 40 plus home runs last year. He's probably not going to do that in Seattle because of where they play, but we're still talking 30 plus home runs probably. So, or they make other arrangements. They make a trade or something like that. But it's just because the Mariners have the best prospects. They seem to line up with the Cardinals well, and we're right there on the cusp of winning a championship to be there over Toronto for the championship. And if Brendan Donovan is a piece that will get them there, I don't know how you don't make that deal. Like, they're playing hardball with the Cardinals and not probably wanting to give up what the Cardinals want. But if we're just talking prospects, how is that not worth it if that's going to get you a ring, or at least get you that much closer? Maybe they don't believe Donovan is as good as maybe we see him in St. Louis. That's a possibility too. But But you now have to wonder if the Red Sox are wanting to do a move now that Bregman is out of the picture. We heard about this, that the Red Sox were also interested in Brendan Donovan. So could these two teams connect again on a third deal this offseason? Is there a way to include Arenado to play third base for Boston and Donnie go over to second base and the Cardinals get some good stuff in return? I'm just throwing it out there. Obviously, they like to work together, so maybe something like that can happen. But if nothing happens and they do start the year with Donnie on the roster still, which I don't think has been eliminated. Like, if they don't get what they want this offseason, you don't have to get rid of them. You could bring him back, but that's not what Nolan Gorman or JJ Weatherholt want to hear, because they want everyday time at the big league level. And yeah, JJ can stay at Memphis. It's true. If need be, you can keep him down there. There's no rush really, but I know I would love to see him in St. Louis just because I want to watch the guy play, for my own selfish needs of wanting to be entertained this season. I would love to see JJ Weatherholt on the team starting at second base or third base on opening day. Gorman just needs to take care of himself. He needs to make it so the Cardinals can't bench him. He needs to be productive. He needs to take good at bats. He needs to show that he's matured as a hitter, that he's going to cut down on the strikeouts some, put the ball in play a little bit more, play some solid D, earn the playing time. The shimmer on his star has dimmed quite a bit. Like, there's no handouts here anymore. Like, you need to earn it. Then when it comes to JoJo Romero, it's really a matter of how bad does somebody want him. Had a great season last year, will be a free agent, so he might be someone they just hang on to until the trade deadline, similar to what they did with Ryan Helsley last year. Unless they get an offer that they just can't pass up. And they're like, all right, that's enough. We can move him there. Maybe JoJo gets packaged with Brendan Donovan or Nolan Arenado to go somewhere else. Like, there are a lot of possibilities here. Denton wrote that St. Louis got great value out of veterans like Andrew Kittredge and Phil Maton in their bullpen the past 2 seasons, and the Cardinals think the highly respected all-business Romero could do the same for them in 26. So even though Romero could command a Donovan-like bounty, St. Louis is in no hurry to do deals for now. There's no rush. There's not. If I had to rank them in order of the way I think things go down, I'd say Donnie would get moved first, Nato, then JoJo. Bottom line, when Bo Bichette decides what he wants to do, I think Donovan and Arenado will finally get more attention again. I think that's really the next thing that's standing in their way now that Bregman is out. And I think Swirls will end up signing pretty quickly, it seems. Bichette's right there. And then I think maybe we'll see some stuff. So anyway, up next, we're going to talk about the arbitration numbers, which was great. And then we also had some bad news, though, with the unfortunate TV issues. We'll talk about all of that coming up next on Locked On Cardinals. Once again, thank you for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen of the day. Thank you for making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network. Good news, bad news situation with the Cardinals right now. So we'll start with the good news. And that's that the Cardinals successfully avoided any arbitration hearings this year with all 7 of the players who are eligible. That's great. That's great news. Arbitration hearings suck. Nobody likes them. Teams don't like them. Players don't like them. But they don't have to worry about it. Don't have to worry about it, right? Brendan Donovan, JoJo Romero, Alec Burleson, Lars Nootbaar, Nolan Gorman, Matthew Liberatore, and Andre Pallante have all agreed to 1-year deals with the team. Now that those numbers are set, will that help get any deals involving Donovan or Romero done quicker? Perhaps. I don't know. Doesn't hurt. I'm going to go off Spot Rack's numbers here. Is it Spot Rack or Spot Track? Either way, I'm going to use their numbers here. And some of them don't match what the reports were when things first got released. Like, you'll see these things on X on the arbitration deadline day, but they are close. So according to, I'm going to say Spot Track. I'm going to say that. Sounds good. Donnie agreed to a deal for $5.8 million after making $2.86 last season in arbitration. Certainly deserves the raise. Good for him. Fantastic. JoJo got bumped from 2.26 and 25 to 4.26. That'll be before he hits free agency. Denton said it was at 4.25. See, it's close. Burleson won a Silver Slugger. Got a big raise. Went from $778,000 last season to $3.3 million. That's a lot. Biscuits on him next time, right, boys? A well-earned raise for the Cardinals' new everyday first baseman. 3.3 for a Silver Slugger is peanuts, right? Let's see if he can do it again. Let's see if he can play some good defense over at first base, too. Nootbaar made 2.95 last season. He goes up to 5.25 this year, although Feinsand said it went up to 5.35. Yeah, that's crazy. He got a raise. Andre Pallante goes from 2.1 to $4 million despite not winning a game after July. I want a job like this. I want a job like this that almost doubles my salary for not being very good when I'm working. That's the dream, right? My goodness. But hey, it's the way things are situated when it comes to this stuff. When you hit arbitration, your money's going up. Matthew Liberatore goes from $776,000 to $2.26 million, and then Nolan Gorman went from $783K to $2.65 million. So I think it's great that in Heimblum's first year of running things in the situations like this, that he was able to avoid arbitration hearings with these guys and not have any of that kind of crap slow things up in the future. So good job all around, everyone. Welcome into your new contracts. Good stuff, everybody. Now let's talk about the TV stuff real fast before we wrap up. The Cardinals were among 9 teams that terminated their contracts with Main Street Sports. Now, I'm not going to pretend to know everything that goes on with TV revenue, negotiations, contract stuff like that. I only know what I read as well. I know the Cardinals make a lot of money off of it normally, and because everything's been so screwed up the last couple of years, those profits have been cut in a big way because of the financial struggles of the company. So I'll just defer to what Derek Gould and other media outlets have said about this situation. Gould wrote that the move to terminate does not eliminate the possibility that the Cardinals will return to Main Street Sports Group on a renegotiated deal. As the club continues to weigh options, a source described, no decision has been finalized. The Cardinals are considering moving their broadcast to Major League Baseball's production, which already houses and distributes 6 teams. MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred said that the league was ready to produce broadcasts for any teams as needed. According to the Associated Press, Cardinals did not receive a scheduled payment from Main Street Sports in December, which is a big no-no. Any of you adults out there who pay your bills and then you don't do it, what happens? Collections. They come chase you down. They turn off your power. They turn off your water. So not good that they missed that in December, and that helped put in motion the uncertainty for 2026. Officials with the team have been consistent in their pledge that fans will have access, this is important, will have access to all of the Cardinals regular season games in 2026, and that any change to their broadcast partner or distribution would not change the on-air personalities that the Cardinals expect to cover and call the games, according to an official. So the people we have, they will be there. It's not like it's going to be a bunch of no-names who don't follow the Cardinals on an everyday basis that'll just be filling in to call the games. That's not how it's going to work. We know this TV situation has affected a number of teams, including the Cardinals, and their spending, and will certainly be a topic that will be brought up when the upcoming collective bargaining negotiations begin at the end of the 2026 season, which many believe is going to lead to a lockout. They're hoping it would be, if it happens, which most people think it will, but it'll be one that is similar to the one that happened in 2021, which lasted 3 months, and it didn't affect things as bad as they could have. You know, they ended up pushing opening day back a week from the end of March to the first week in April, I believe it was, which I'm fine with because it's usually really cold. So I didn't mind that whatsoever. They still got all 162 games in that season, and that was the negotiations that got things like the universal DH. Postseason expanded to 12 teams from 10. Luxury tax thresholds were raised. You had the draft lottery came into play. Pre-arbitration bonus pool was like $50 million. The advertising on the uniforms and the helmets, that was approved. 163 game tiebreaker was eliminated. bunch of other stuff. Rule change. There was a bunch of stuff that was involved there. Minimum salary increases, international draft stuff. Like there was a bunch of it that was added on to it. Obviously, the big thing that's going to happen this time around that was talked about before and will continue to be brought up, but I still don't think it'll happen, is the salary cap. People are always saying, we need a salary cap. Look what the Dodgers and these teams are doing. And, as one of the teams that doesn't spend like those teams, obviously, sure, yeah, that'd be great. But the players are never going to agree to that, right? They're just not. They're going to find other ways to get these other teams to spend more money. That's the player's goal. Obviously, as an owner, you don't want to spend as much as all these guys are. You're like, no. So they're going to have their discussions about that. But we don't have to worry about it till the end of the 2026 season, which is good. Good trivia question here when it comes to that, Bo, by the way. Who was the first free agent signed after the lockout in 2021? The Cardinals signed pitcher Drew Verhagen, Cardinal legend. There you go. Take that one to the bar. All right. Thanks for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. If you haven't already, please give us a follow on X at LO_Cardinals and at JD Sports Radio, TikTok, and Instagram at Locked On Cardinals. Like, subscribe on YouTube to help our channel and love for the Cardinals grow. If you never miss an episode, the Everydayer Club, built for you. Get Locked On Cardinals ad-free, plus members-only Discord access and more. Head to LockedOnSTLCardinals.supercast.com to join the club. For those of you on video, we're going to send you to the first ever 24/7 national Locked On Podcast Network YouTube channel. On audio, make sure you make your second listen Locked On MLB with our guy Sully. You're the best fans in baseball for a reason, and we will see you next time on Locked On Cardinals.